friends. This is Eric the Mind Show guy. Just a little bit ago, I was listening to Coast to Coast AM, and they had a feller on there. It was a British feller, and they were discussing, plus and minus whether, we really landed on the moon or not. All the usual arguments and this, that, and the other. We always hear from these so-called experts that they say, oh, we didn't have the technology to do this, we didn't have technology to do that. All right. What makes you so sure we didn't have the technology? You hear of things called classified, secret, top secret, above top secret, and regardless of what anybody says, I'm convinced there's some things that are above the president's pay grade. Certain folks in the military or various intelligence agencies don't let the president know unless he has a need to know. But you got places like, the legendary Area 51, Site 4, Dulce, Autech, Hangar 18, and lesser known ones. Well, if you're not allowed to get nowhere close to the outer rim of the facility, how do you know what's going on in there? Just because, things are not acknowledged doesn't mean they don't have the technology. Think about that. Think about today, anybody could go to Best Buy, Walmart, and get a cell phone like the one I'm talking on. They say, well, they didn't have that technology back then. Well, back in the 1940s, they had the technology. They didn't know they had the technology. Something got out of hand that caused an event that has become known today as the Philadelphia experiment. There are arguments plus or minus whether the Navy even acknowledges that ever happened. Cover up beyond cover up. Project Rainbow. And the legend is it went into a time warp. Now, obviously, the technology was there. They didn't realize they had the technology, and things got out of hand. They couldn't control it. They got technology that they will never admit to. That's why things are so closely guarded in the realms of secrecy. Underground bases, underground facilities, or who knows what the hell's going on down there. But I tried to get on Coast to Coast and I was on hold, and the program ended before I could get on. Now, what I wanted to bring up to George and the guest was, what if they had the technology, but it was never acknowledged to the public? Still not acknowledged. And the guy's biggest argument was the Van Allen radiation belts. Alright? Anybody who's listened to Coast for any number of years, their big thing is, one of their big things is off-world craft. They call them UFOs. But basically off-world craft that come and go as they please. They say some are interdimensional, some are from this solar system or other solar systems. But they have the technology to do things. Well, what if these off-worlders had the technology to get past or get through the Van Allen radiation belts completely unscathed? Now, the legend is that I think it was in 1957 that President Eisenhower had a meeting with some off-worlders that were here, and there was an agreement that they would be able to exchange technology, and I think what the off-worlders wanted was access to human DNA. And there's arguments plus or minus as to precisely what the off-worlders would be able to do. Some say they would be able to abduct people of this planet for any number of reasons. They wanted DNA. What kind of get through the Van Allen radiation belts like they did, completely unscathed? What if we were given anti-gravity technology? What if we were given all the technology to make the moon program, the Apollo program, possible? All the technology that will never be acknowledged to the public. Because if the public knows about it, so do other countries that our leadership may or may not get along with very well. Bottom line is, serious technology in the wrong hands can end up with devastating results. And they say, well, we didn't have the technology. For one, how do you know we didn't have the technology? Two, what if we did have the technology, but the technology we had wasn't ours? What if it was given to us from those not of this earth? And all of a sudden now, we have the technology. We know how to construct and build, whether they use electronics or how they do it. What if they have the ability to get through the Van Allen radiation belts and not have any problems? What if we were given that technology from off-worlders? Because of the meeting that legend has Eisenhower had with off-worlders back in 1957. And if true, well, that might put a different spin on things. Now, David Hatcher Childress, he had a video years ago, he did a seminar, saying, yeah, they went and they faked it as well. In other words, oh, they went, but they didn't use the technology that they said they used. And the other thing is, there were pictures taken on the moon, and there were pictures taken in the desert, possibly pictures taken in a studio. Well, you jumble them all up, now which is which? And yes, there were pictures taken in studio, and there's obviously all kinds of anomalies that are seen. Light seen in the reflection of the lenses, the helmets the astronauts were wearing. One, it's this thing, I think it was from Apollo 12. You see this thing, it's in the reflection of the helmet. So what's that above the astronaut? And they do a zoom, 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 zoom. It's a ceiling fan. That's what it was. Now, what if they have all these pictures, but then they have pictures that were actually taken on the moon? But then they jumble them all up, and they have a handful of pictures where some anomalies get in there. They say, see, that proves it. Just like a lot of these swaggering, arrogant skeptics out here. They think just because one thing was done, that means it was all fake. No, it doesn't. Just like propaganda pictures for wartime. You think that just because one is fake, that means they're all fake? Well, if that's what you believe, then you're obviously educated beyond your intelligence. The best way to discredit anything is to create a couple fakes and then constantly focus on that and ignore this over here. But anyway, I was thinking about that this evening. That what if we were given technology from off-world visitors because of that meeting in 1957? What if we were given the technology on how to get through the Van Allen radiation belts? Because obviously these off-worlders that come here, they get through the Van Allen radiation belts, obviously. They got no problem with it. What if they gave us the technology? Okay, here's how you do it. And here's what you use. Wow. But will they ever admit to that? Not in this lifetime. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. all think. Take care, friends.